Hello guys. So today is Sunday. I'm in the garage. We're going to build a Porsche 912 motor, and I thought I'd go over it with you. But yesterday was a very exciting day for us. We hit 1,000 subscribers. Very, very cool. My mother-in-law called me. Julie was so excited. She says, have you seen? And I was like, what? She goes, you're at number 999. And it was really cool for her to do that. Leah got so excited. I didn't even know this, but Leah had bought this shirt for me as a kind of a, when I got to 1,000. So I'm wearing it today. I thought I would show you. It's very cool. So we're so excited to have 1,000. It's funny because I go on YouTube and I see channels with, tons and tons of subscribers that people have. It's been just over a year. I'm really excited to get 1,000. So thank all you guys for out there for subscribing. It's just exciting now. I don't know what the next number we need. So we're going to set up the YouTube channel. So maybe we start getting some commercial time. So anyhow, let's go over this motor. Always did all the work, of course. And Cisco did my heads. And let me tell you, everything is ready to go and clean and ready to build. So I thought I would share it. Kind of cool stuff. So let's get into it. All right. So here's the case, half the case. You can see how nice it's all done. There's your cover, and here's our numbers right there. And there's Chloe. Chloe's sleeping. She's in a deep sleep down there. She loves to hang out in the garage. So let's go over this. Okay, so on the case itself, so all these studs come out, then it gets decked, as you can see here. They take 10,000ths off of this, okay, because this needed to be line board. So they take 10,000ths off of it. Then they run the bore on the mains gets taken to standard dimensions. Same with the cam. So the main gets cut, the cam gets cut, all back to standard, and also the seal, right? So 10,000ths off each side. So now you're at 20. You put it together, and everything gets line board back to standard. So that's what happens on these cases, and you can see how nice it is. And then the finish on here, it's you can see it's got like a cross hash on it. This here sticks together really well with the Loctite we use. That finish is really nice. It's really gets a nice bite on that finish on there. Okay. The cover does go on and get line board with the whole line board. It gets done at the same time, and you can see here this bearing. So all those have to be all put together, and then line board, and then you end up with a standard case, which is what we got now. There's the heads. Cisco doing my heads. Those are all done, and you can see the step here is pretty nice. So they're still got some meat on here to do. These are fly cut also. Valves are done. Original springs and retainers is what I like to do on those. So that's your heads. Crank. The crank is right here. This crank is in really nice condition. If you remember, this is the motor that it spun a rod. And what I did was I got a new crank, a different crank, and I got another set of rods because the rod that spun was actually, it got hot. So when it got hot, it makes like it looked like it was burnt right in here. Matter of fact, I might have it. Let me see if I have that I can show you. I think we've put that away. Anyhow, so the crank's ready to go. Camshaft. This is a camshaft. It's an RO 200.5. This is equivalent or the same as a 356 SC, or the same as a 912. and it's got the wide lobes, as you can see. So I like to run the wide lobe cams. This one here, I've had it for a little while, so I decided to put it in this motor, and you can see, if you can catch that 200.5. And this was a selling cam by Performance Products. They were putting this cam out. It's supposed to be a pretty nice cam, so we're excited to use that. We're going to go with Solex's, and cylinders, pistons and cylinders are 86 millimeter. Okay, and so I got all my head bolts are all clean, ready to rock and roll. The push rod tubes, all good, right? Here's your air deflectors for the bottom of the cylinders, oil pump back there. These are the retainers for the air deflectors. Head bolts, we'll put new seals on the head bolts, so those are all ready to go. Here's the head bolt washers, right? These are weird size, kind of hard to find them. You look on eBay and they want, I don't know, $10 to $15 a piece for them, which I don't even understand. But somebody's got to come up with a solution to replace those because they're a weird size. They're a thickness. You can see how thick they are. You got to have these to get your spacing correct so that this seal that is on here doesn't get squashed. That's the whole purpose of having those. And it takes one per one of these bolts and one per one of these, the barrel nuts on the top part of it. So push rod tubes. This is the 912 the SE version. I go to these even if it's the old school type, the old aluminum center. These are the way to go. Here's your oil where your temperature is picked up at here. There's the idiot light for the dash. Distributor drive. When you're installing the distributor drive, you have to install the stainless washer first, right there. That sits right under there. But you have to install this first. So the way I do it is I put grease on it, I drop it down the barrel, and then kind of stick it onto the front cover case there. And then you install this in the right orientation. And remember that the groove is offset. So you got to set that groove so that your distributor sits in correctly. That's how that works. Anyhow, this is the tube for the head off the breather box right there. Here's the breather, the rubber seals for that. These guys here are getting up to $30 on eBay, which is, it seems like madness. Anyhow, there's the plug for the one side. So the passenger side gets one of these, and this drops into there like that. You guys know this. And then this one on the driver's side goes in the head, and then it gets plugged. Okay, that's what those are. Now this is the little finger there that mounts on the arm that holds the heater boxes. The heater boxes in, and the tin for the cylinder. This is the one that goes in the case. In the case that the block sits on, right, like that there. And then this is the one where their oil line goes, that go to the oil filter. You guys that build these, you know everything I'm looking at. Here's your oil splash washer that goes behind your pulley seal. And then, of course, the pin for the bearing. And then the woodruff key. The engine oil plug, right? And then these four for the front cover. God, those are drawing me a blank. The push rod lifters right there. 8 of those. Those are nice, not dished on the bottom. They get dished on the bottom, and you don't want to use those. There's my shims for my cylinders. The amount that we've taken out of the case, we have to make up on the cylinders there. So that's going to be 20 thousandths there. Here's the bolts for the case itself, wavy washers, and the nuts for that. And this is the through bolt, and these are the washers for the through bolts, and the bolts that are already the studs that are here. So that sits on there with you run the O-ring, set those on there. I use a little bit of silicone on there when I set them up, and then you put the cap nuts on there. So it sits upside down like this, just like that, okay? This is the pivot for the throttle linkage that sits on the back of the fan shroud on the lower. And then this is the one that holds the crossbar on for the carburetors. That's this crossbar right there. And then your factory fuel lines, right? And this is just the rest of the hardware that I'll be using as we go along here. There's the bands for the alternator and for the oil canister. And then here's the rods for the carburetors and the link. And obviously the longer of the three are for, they go on this pivot here. So front pulleys, you got to make sure when you're inspecting them that they're not cracked, because the front pulley, they will crack right here. You'll get a crack like this, and it'll follow right here, and that crack will leak oil. So you got to make sure there's no cracks in there. This one's good. I'll use that one there. These are the hairpins for the valve covers. Valve covers, all this sheet metal's all in another box over there, and it's all freshly powder coated. So once this long block is all put together, then we get the powder coating, and all that will fall right into place. So I think I've talked about just about everything here. The cam is like I said, same as a 912 and SE. That's all there. Oh, the mark, I mark it in white. The timing mark is right there. It's got a 0. I just marked those so it's easy to see. And then the other side where that rides on the camshaft is, I marked that one also, so you can see that. And that one is supposed to be here. There it is right there. So that tooth, you can see the 2 dots there. That tooth sits right in between those 2 dots. So I like to mark them just to have them there. Okay. And this crank always took care of for me. Those guys over there, Tim, Andrew, and Zane, they do such a nice job on all the stuff they need to do. Tim is he's a super nice guy. I'm there a lot. Leo wants to know when I'm getting a paycheck for going there for so much. It's kind of funny, but anyhow, that's about what I got going on here. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start building this now. I just wanted to do a video about the motor and show you what I got going on. This is, if you go back into my videos, this is the one that spun the bearing. It was pretty, the crank, don't like to go, I didn't want to use the crank because it was pretty blued out from being grinded up, and I didn't want to send it out and get it done. So I got another crank for it. Same with the rods. They were fatigued, don't like to use them like that. So we got, the new bearings, everything's ready to go. It's all lined up. I like to lay everything out like this so that when I go to build, I get in a groove and I'll put this whole thing together pretty reasonably quick if everything's laid out. So that's kind of what we're doing today. Kind of cloudy out there. I think it's raining in California. So it's kind of the perfect day to be inside and just kind of doing this stuff. But it's been an exciting couple of days. We've been waiting for the 1,000 subscribers. That was really cool. I can't thank you guys enough for putting us up to 1,000. So that was really cool. Anyhow, so I will get and start build on this. I still got to pull the brake calipers out of the silver 73.5, and then we will tear that motor down, pull that Sportomatic off and build that one up, tear down, send everything where it needs to go. I'm looking at the exhaust on it. I'm probably going to tell John about doing an exhaust on there, go to an SSI, which I really like. We'll have heat, new muffler. The problem I have with the muffler is it probably has oil in it. Once those mufflers have oil in it, it's kind of hard to burn it out without it just smoking out the whole neighborhood. And neighbors don't like smoking cars close to you, so not a good thing. Anyhow, we'll figure that out. We'll do a video on when I tear that motor down. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Thanks again for the 1,000 subscriptions. It's so exciting for me. And I will get you on the next video when we tear down the Sportomatic motor. All right, cool. Have a good rest of the day. Bye, guys.